History remembers the Pharisees as the architects of modern Judaism, but it has largely forgotten their fierce rivals, the Sadducees. For centuries, this elite priestly class held the keys to the Holy of Holies and the ears of Roman governors. They weren't just priests, they were the 1%, the wealthy, the polished, the sons of Zadok. But while they were experts at navigating the politics of Rome, they were blind to the rage simmering in their own streets. In a few violent years, they were systematically erased. This is the story of their collapse. The Sadducees were the Sadducean. They claimed a direct bloodline to the High Priest of King Solomon. By the 1st century AD, they controlled the temple's massive treasury, making them the wealthiest faction in Judea. While the Pharisees debated oral law in the marketplaces, the Sadducees remained cold literalists. If it wasn't written in the 5 books of Moses, they didn't believe it. No resurrection, no afterlife, no angels. For them, the only world that mattered was the one they ruled. To keep the temple's smoke rising and their mansions in the upper city intact, they played a dangerous game, acting as the Roman peacekeepers of Jerusalem. But to the starving masses, the Sadducees weren't holy. They were collaborators. When the Great Revolt ignited in 66 AD, the Sadducees' delicate world imploded. The Zealots, radical revolutionaries from the lower classes, didn't just want Rome out. They wanted the elite gone. In 67 AD, the revolution turned inward. The Jewish zealots seized the temple, transforming the house of prayer into a fortress. In a move that horrified the aristocracy, the zealots officially abolished the Sadducean high priesthood. They didn't care about lineage or bloodlines. They chose a commoner named Phineas, a humble stonecutter who didn't even understand the duties of a priest, and dressed him in the sacred robes. By drawing lots for the office, they effectively severed the divine right of the Sadducean elite forever. Then came the bloodbath. The Zealots invited the Idumeans, a fierce tribe from the south, into the city under the cover of a storm. They launched a systematic hunt for the Sadducean leadership. Ananus ben Ananus, the man who had once been the most powerful high priest in the land, was cornered and executed. In a final act of psychological warfare, the Zealots broke the most sacred Jewish law. They refused to bury the bodies. The corpses of the sons of Zadok were left to rot in the streets they once owned. Simultaneously, the Sicarii, the dagger men, targeted the Sadducean villas. They burned the public archives, specifically seeking out the debt records. In one night, the Sadducees lost their religious authority, their lives, and the financial contracts that held their empire together. The destruction of 70 AD was more than a military defeat. It was an evolutionary dead end. Within a generation, the name Sadducee disappeared from the historical record. They left behind no books, no prayers, and no descendants. They were the casualties of a revolution that hated them as much as it hated Rome. The Pharisees went on to shape rabbinic Judaism, but the Sadducees remain a warning from history. That power built only on bloodlines and buildings can vanish in a single puff of smoke.